Hi everyone, and welcome to another part of these Solidity tutorials. In this part we're going to create a smart contract called MultiSignatureWallet, meaning that a number of addresses are able to actually sign the transactions so that we'll have the transaction happening. So this is different from only one party to be signing a transaction. We have multiple parties. So in this example we have 3 wallets, and the least number of addresses to sign the transactions is at least 2 addresses. So we're gonna write that smart contract, and you will see that we will check so many different items such as the transaction ID, transaction execution, transaction sending, and also depositing. So whatever we do inside one wallet, we will write the smart contract of it. So this is going to be somehow near to the real world examples of the wallets. So right now let's create a new contract, multi-signature wallet, or MS wallet wallet.sol. And we're going to copy the first 2 lines just as always. And now it's time to create a contract multi-signature wallet. So first of all, we have the array of the addresses, public owners. So these are the these are the owners of the wallet, and they will need to exist in order to sign the transactions, at least 2 out of 3. So notice that in this case we're working on 3, and at least 2 of them are needed, but 3 of them should be entered at the time of deployment. So we'll have a mapping from the address to the is owner. So we'll check it for each one of them if they're the owners or not. So address bool, public is owner, public is owner, and uint to 56, public required signatures, public required signatures. So a number of signatures are required, and in our example we want 2 signatures to be required for signing the transactions, and 3 owners. So we'll have mapping from uint to 56 to another mapping instead of it, mapping address to bool, address to bool, so public is approved, So we'll have another mapping here, uint to 56 to bool, and public is transaction executed, public is transaction executed. So this is another mapping, and we've got also another mapping here. So this is a very long code, and it takes a lot of time and some videos to finish. So uint to 56 to uint to 56, public transaction amounts, public transaction amounts, transaction amounts, So now we'll define 2 events, actually 3 events. So I'm gonna write them one by one. Event deposit for depositing the money, address sender, uint 256 amount, uint 256 amount, and another event, transaction created, transaction, oh, let's do it again, transaction created, uint 256 index transaction ID, uint 256 indexed transaction ID. So transaction ID and address index sender, address indexed sender, and address of the signers, the array related to address. So address signers, and uint 256 amounts, uint 256 amounts, so it's the array of the amounts. And because this is a very long one, let's put them in separate lines like this. And this way, so uint 256 amounts and address of the recipient. So address, and by the way, here it's uint 256 address recipient, and here we go. So that's it for this event, and we've got another event, transaction executed, event transaction executed. So let's check what we need here. Here we need uint 256 index transaction ID, uint 256 indexed transaction ID, and address indexed executor, address index executor, and that's it. So we'll at first define a modifier. So the reason we do that is that when we want to use the modifiers, we need them for some of the different functions. So we write this modifier and call this only owners, meaning that the only owners of this smart contract can be able to do do that kind of activity. So actually here, instead of our events, I need to fix the name, and here I'm gonna write the modifier called only owner, open and close the parentheses and open the brackets. So here it will require that is only owner, the message sender is the only owner, so is owner the message sender, msg.sender, So the address of the message sender should be one of the addresses of the owner, or the address of the owner. So let me check. Yes, here we have is owner. This is a mapping from the address to Boolean. So it checks whether the address is the signer or not. So right here, instead of our modifier, we have this requirement, and otherwise it will show to the user unauthorized. So that's it. And just as always, we have this underline, which we'll use for the functions that use this modifier. So that's it up to now for this smart contract, this video. So we'll continue with the rest of the functions. And also we've got a constructor at first and a number of functions. So we'll cover them in the next videos, and then we'll compile them and compile the smart contract so that then we can execute the smart contract and see how it works. So that's it for this part of the video.